It's a kind of comfortable situation.
That's right.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to On the Mike, Mike Premier Business Radio Program. I'm your host, Mike King, coming to you from the ESPN studios. This is part of the Mike King Biz Radio Network, ESPN Richmond 106.1, The Choice 105.3, International Business Good Radio, as well as CW Richmond TV. That is every Wednesday and Friday. We are part of the Better Business Bureau. Shout out to my man Barry Moore. We talk to businesses out, and what the BBB is about business and trust. We always talk to business owners who out there who have created that. So Barry Moore says, Mike, I want you to talk to this lady. She's a painter. Okay, that's good. I don't know whether it's sexist or whatever. She's not what I expected. So, ma'am, welcome to the program, and tell our listeners who you are and what you do.
I am Stacey Spear, and I am a residential interior house painting owner.
So we were in studio, and I said you were a painter.
Yeah.
And you tell people you're a painter. And what do people say all the time?
They said, "Oh, that's so great. I love painting."
And then you have to say,
"Not really the kind of painting I do."
The painting that I do is when you pay because you don't want to do it. Or
That's
you
right.
can't do it.
That's right. It is a little bit of work. And but it's all inside. We do our prepping everything, 2-story, you name it, we paint it.
All right, ma'am. How did you get into that? We just got to start there.
Well, are you ready for this?
You know, ladies and gentlemen, when somebody starts off with, well, okay, this is not going to go. This is not a straight line. This is a little.
It's a little deviated.
Exactly.
I used to be in banking. I went to college. I know. I went to college for economics. And so I'm very math driven, and I never used the creative side of my brain. And all of a sudden, I found myself in banking, and I never got to be home with my kids. I stopped banking because God gave me those 2 boys to raise. So I had the opportunity to stay home with them, and I was blessed with that, and I did. Then I was volunteering at my church, painting Sunday school classrooms.
Okay, 1 second. You can't just say my church. You got to we do church shout outs here.
Oh!
Okay, so what church is it?
Shady Grove United Methodist Church in Mechanicsville, Virginia.
Shout out to Shady Grove Methodist.
Shady Grove.
Okay, so now you're in banking. You were always the kid who was good with money?
I was.
You were that kid.
I am a good budgeter.
You must be related to my wife.
Oh, I love budgeting. I love it when my little spreadsheets equal. Each side has to equal each. Yes.
Okay.
I thought I was going to be the next Federal Reserve chairperson when I was growing up. That was my goal.
Okay, Jenny Elson. Okay. Then, okay. That was what you wanted to do.
Yeah.
That's not that's not the sexiest thing. But want to be the Fed Reserve term.
No, but in my little pea brain, I thought this was it. That was the goal.
Creative too?
Well, yes, in the fact that in economics, you have a lot of supply and demand graphs, and they all have different lines on them. So I had every color in the 8-color line of pens on my graph.
Okay.
Back then, it was only 8 colors,
Yeah, back in the, not like now, you got a bunch of things.
6,400.
So, exactly. So you're sitting in the bank, people are coming in there.
Yep.
They're talking to you about their dreams.
Yeah.
But you're okay. You're the banker.
I thought that's what I wanted to do.
Okay. Go into church, and was it divine one day, or did this creep up on you, Shady Grove?
It creeped up out of nowhere because I was just volunteered my time because my son was in preschool at church. And I said, I'll just help out.
You're just gonna help out.
Yeah, I have no
problem.
I don't know anything about painting, but I'll do whatever you tell me to do. I follow the rules.
Okay.
So I did.
What was the first thing you painted?
White on the walls in the Sunday school classroom.
And when you looked at it, did you get a thumbs up? You were like,
they said I did a good job. I said, okay, I rolled it nicely. So that's what I did. I rolled the walls.
Okay. But you were okay, taking care of your son, everything was fine.
Yeah.
When did you get the thing that this might be a business?
Okay, so people from church said, hey, who painted these rooms? And my friend and I said, we did. And they said, well, will you paint for us? And we said, sure, because it was church and you just paint for church.
It's church folks.
Right.
Not regular folks. They're church.
Just church folk.
Okay.
So you just paint for them because that's what you do.
Mm-hmm.
And
as a good church member.
As a good church member. And so I did, and we would get fruit baskets or a little gift card for whatever. Mm-hmm. And that would be, we didn't ask for anything. We didn't want anything. We're just helping out. Anyway, they referred us to other people. And it was at that point we said, you know what? Need to start something here.
Okay, so you started the business.
Yes, 2004.
Okay, when did you know you might have something?
In 2005, we kept turning heads. So I had a business partner with me at the time. Anyway, we were doing stuff and we kept turning heads and people said, well, you probably can't, whatever it is, you can't paint
Insert
this.
this thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we said, well, yeah, we can. And I am very, I had to know everything. So I went and I learned about painting. I learned about colors. I went back to school, went to U of R to learn about design classes and color theory. And then I said, we can do it. Put it in front of me and I will figure out how to do it. And there we became S Painting.
Alrighty, so in 2005, you really knew that you had something there.
Yeah. And then 2006 was great. And we hired some employees and we started growing and growing. We got our color. Our color is green. That's
I
our
noticed.
Have you noticed? Do you see
I've
my
seen your
green? Yeah.
earphones.
So, and green jewelry.
There you go, blinging.
Please notice
She
my
blinged out here.
greenness.
Stacey is blinging out now. She's successful. She's the career cheerleader, and her brand is being successful. None more
Yeah.
successful than dropping some green. Really, let's talk a little bit about you and your partner are going along. You guys are making, and then you hire somebody.
Yeah.
What was that like the first time you hired somebody?
It scared the pants off me. That was just horrible.
We're responsible for somebody.
Oh my
now.
gosh, what do I have to do? I gotta train somebody? I don't know what I'm doing. I don't.
Did you have an employee handbook at that point?
Absolutely not. 100% zero.
You just said we need some help.
Yeah. So we learned, we hired some people hired with experience, people who paint with experience or who knew how to paint. And we learned quickly that did not want that because we had to untrain to what our standards were.
Right. They knew a different technique that you did not want.
Right. And it was right for them and it was right for whoever they worked for before, but it wasn't right for S Painting.
Alrighty, so S Painting, what's it like to be a female business in a male-dominated field? She has to laugh on that one. I can imagine. All the guys come up in there, you know what the painters look, they're coming up and here you guys come in.
It is.
I can imagine the stuff you've seen.
A lot.
Heard.
A lot of people chastised. A lot of people told me I couldn't do. A lot of people said, well, you probably can't, whatever it is. So like 2-story foyers, well, you probably can't paint those because you can't lift the scaffolding. Well, you probably can't do this because you can't do. It was so many can'ts and so many you can't. It was so frustrating. I was determined to prove them wrong each and every time.
Year to year goes by, you're still standing. At what point did you cans be like, okay, we've had enough of those? They stop. You just become a painting. You just become S&S. I mean, it's one thing to be a woman-owned company. That's cool and all that, but in the end, you're a painting company.
Yeah. So in Richmond, we have a phenomenal group of people that belong to a group called Painting Contractors of America. I belong to that. And at first, it was like I had leprosy and nobody would sit at the table with me.
Who's the lady over there? What's she doing here?
Why are you in here? We're all men. What were you thinking walking through that door? But
let's stop. I told you I got problems and issues. The first time you went here, you didn't know how it worked. You didn't know it, no clue.
No.
The second time you went back, you knew the horror that you were going to walk into. Let's talk about the second time.
Okay.
The first time you were just shocked and it's like, oh Lord. But now you went there and you can't walk back out because they saw you. So now you go to the second time. You know you're getting ready to walk into the lion's den.
Yeah.
What happened?
I just wanted to make sure that they knew I was here for business and I was going to be successful. So I went back.
Okay.
I don't want to take no for an answer. And I also wanted to learn. And I knew these were a group of really smart individuals, smart men, and they just didn't realize that women could do what they were doing.
Okay. So you started going, and when did you become one of the guys?
It took a while. But when I started proving myself, so I started volunteering with the organization, and Richmond, the group here is incredible, so supportive, so open to teaching. And when they learned that I knew about business, I didn't know about paint, but I knew about business, and I could share business things that would help them grow. It was a sharing of knowledge.
Because a lot of times they knew painting.
Because they grew up in it.
They knew painting.
Yeah.
They didn't know the business side of it.
Right.
And
not all of them, right?
Not all of them, but a lot of times that's what happens.
Well, yeah. And when you grow up in the business, you just do because you've always done that way. And so I was coming in with my little spreadsheets, my graphs, everything.
Scares people
I know.
It does. It scares people when y'all show up. It's like going to the bank. You got, all right, let me go ahead and straighten up.
Well, you do.
Go talk to Stacey, the banker lady, and be like, oh, Lord.
Here goes.
Here goes. And then like, when it works out, you're like, wow. Okay, so you become a business. You're, a woman-owned business. So there's some women out there right now. Let's talk about, women making dreams come true in a non-traditional area.
Yeah. So what people don't realize about my company is that we work from 8 to 2, period. That means all of my employees, if they have children, can get their children onto the bus, and then they work, and then they get home in time to get their kids off the bus. So in my company, it's God, family, and then work. And so their family comes before my work, and they know that. And that's my morals. And I want it to always be that way, so they know they can always be there to support their family.
Hey, ma'am, that's something. So 2 p.m. you're done.
Done.
So your business model has to be, when you first started that, I guess people thought you were a lunatic. It won't work.
Well, I wasn't a real company.
Oh.
To a lot of people, I was not a real company because I don't do exterior painting, and I only work 6 hours a day. And so that in the brain, people thought, oh, that's not a real company.
When did people realize you were a real company?
When I was successful each year, and they saw me keep coming back.
Okay.
And what was so cool was, so we'd buy our paint from like different paint stores in town, and we got to know our paint reps really well because they're part of the PCA. So that's like Benjamin Moore, Spectrum Paint, Sherwin-Williams, so forth and so on. They got to know us more and more. And then we'd walk into a store, and people who are other male painters would be laughing behind our backs, and they would support us and tell them, no, they're a real company. And it was so nice to get all that support locally. It really was. It was incredible.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's why I do the show right there, because you can make a difference. I talked to Connie Hom at the Greenery, and she talked about being a company, a 4-day work week, because people were talking about, is it possible? And I asked her, how long have you been doing 4 days? She said 20 years. Well, I guess at 20 years, I guess you figured out that it works. Why'd you do that? We realized that it helped employees do things with their family. We can get the stuff done in 4 days. It's easy on the environment. It's all those things. So when a person would say as a painter, you got a good 4 hours, because painters are done, the trades a lot of times, you're good until 6, right? Yeah. That's what, so you're saying 2 o'clock.
Done. So we work 6 hours, and those girls, I call them girls, they're all women. They work so hard in those 6 hours, and they want to get it perfect, and they want to get it done for the customer, because they realize the importance of that house being put back together. And that family being able to.
That's their house.
That's their, yes.
And that's their family.
Yes.
Well, a lot of times, guys, we might miss a lot of things. Yeah. Okay. So clearly, there's a lady that I know, and one of I deal with a lot of women. So yeah, even though I'm on ESPN, 90% of people listening to ESPN are men, but 70% of people follow me are women. And that's probably maybe because I've been married for 43 years. But the lady is talking, and she says, my husband is a fine gentleman. He wears one hat, maybe two, because he can't handle a lot. And I start thinking, I've been there every day with my sons. They're 39 and 41. There's a whole bunch of things went on in there. I had no clue.
Mhm.
That happened when? What year?
What was it?
So a lot of times the man is in there doing a job. He's doing a job.
Yeah.
He's painting. Okay, we do it today. It's good, but okay, well, that's fine.
Yeah.
That's it. The women are looking at totally different.
Yeah.
And you're giving women an opportunity to be with their family at an important time.
Yeah. Yeah. And they make good money, they get benefits, and they get to be with their family, and it is just incredible.
That's it. So the feeling is there. Wow, that's a good, you know what? That is one of the reasons, like I said, I do this because a lot of times a person doesn't have to sacrifice the family, because a lot of times it is, I gotta be here as opposed to going to pick up my kids,
Yeah.
and I need to work, but I can't. And shout out to the Ford Foundation too, Andrea Starr, because they help people with childcare so that they can go work. So shout out to Andrea Starr and the folks over there. Alrighty, ma'am, this is your elevator pitch. Tell the folks why they should contact and work with SNS.
Should contact and work with SNS Painting because we are reliable, on time, all the time. We will treat your house like it is our home, and we'll create that beautiful place for you to be.
Where do you guys, what territory do you guys work in?
We are in the greater Richmond area,
All right.
up to Ashland, down to Chesterfield, over to New Kent.
How many employees you guys have?
9.
Well, so you did survive after that first employee you hired.
Oh my golly.
Oh Lord. Okay. I don't know if we can do this.
It was hard, but it was good.
There you go. On the mic, Mike, Stacey is here with us. One last time, how can people find information about SNS?
We are www.sspaintingllc.com. We're also found on Facebook and LinkedIn and Instagram.
There you go. Shout out to the man Barry Moore, all the good folks over at the Better Business Bureau. On the mic with Mike, we are BBB accredited organization. Shout out to my man Barry Moore for having the understanding to push me and say, Mike, you need to do this. This is trusted in the marketplace, and that's when people deal with you guys, they understand. That's a big part of it right there, that the workers are looking at the house as their own.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times I ain't gonna be prejudiced or whatever, but men, a lot of times we may not look at it that way. I'm just saying.
There's some good guy painters out there.
We are not knocking. We're not doing what the guys did to you, like when you walked into the room. You hire a man, everybody's looking at like,
Yeah.
Stacey, what up? He's a good guy.
Yeah.
He'll fit in. And they're looking at him like, we'll see.
Yeah.
On the mic, Mike Stacey's here. We got to run. As I said, we are the best business radio program. Why? Because we bring the best and the brightest to you. Make sure you check out her for all your interior painting needs. And the next time somebody says, I'm a painter,
Qualify.
that's right. You know what? Don't just look at me and say, I love painting. My son is an artist.
Yes.
We're an artist inside the house.
That's right. That's right.
We're interior painters. All right, we got to run. On the mic, Mike, take care. We'll talk to you soon.